insightful speech. Toastmasters is a forum where we have the freedom to experiment. You fail here, it's just a learning. But these failures will actually set stage for your professional success, as Toastmaster Ganesan pointed out. Last week, the week before actually, 2 weeks back, we had a college reunion where I got an opportunity to meet all my friends after 20 years. It is 20 years since I passed out of college. So I had this friend of mine who works for Mahindra Resorts, Club Mahindra Resorts as a manager, and he also takes care of the training department there. He was talking about this experience of training the people on the values the company is having. Right? Every company will have their mission, vision, values. So he was talking about an experience where how they imbibe the values of the company with the employees. So there was this incident where the Club Mahindra Resorts in Coorg, Karnataka, gets a call from one of the members, the club members. It was around 2 p.m. Around that time when the restaurant was about to close. All Club Mahindra Resorts will have a restaurant attached to it. The restaurant was about to close, and this man hurriedly calls and says, I'm getting late for the check-in. 2 p.m. is the check-in time. I'm getting late for the check-in because I'm stuck in traffic. I have 2 kids, hungry. Could you do something? Right? This receptionist said, where exactly are you? And he said, I am in so and so place. Unfortunately, that was the time when the chief minister was visiting to inaugurate a flower show, and there is no way that this man is going to get to the resort before 4 p.m.
Oh my God.
That is when this receptionist was winding up his shift for the day. It's an 8-hour shift, so he is winding up the shift for the day. And what he did was, he packed up 4 boxes of lunch, and he took his motorcycle, and he was navigating through all these narrow lanes, and around 3 p.m. he was finally able to get to that point, and then he handed over all the 4 lunch boxes to the kids, and the member was, his eyes were glistening with warmth and thankfulness. This was the story they tell. The tagline of this story is, in Club Mahindra Resorts, there is no room for the ordinary. So this is the value they want to imbibe on the, to the employees, and this was done through this story. So stories are so powerful. So is there a way to capture these stories and hold them with us so that we can take it and use it whenever we need it? Yes, there is a way. This formula is called LKT, as I call it, right? LKT. I call this as lightly knit tales, right? An easy mnemonic to remember: lightly knit tales.
Lightly or lightly?
Lightly knit tales. L-I-G-H-T, lightly knit tales. The L stands for labeling the story. Whenever you come across a story, many of you have shared with me a lot of stories when I asked late last night. So you label the story. It is like a title for the story. And K stands for the key elements in the story. When I say key elements, you are not going to write down the story word by word. Rather, you are going to only have it as phrases. For example, in this Club Mahindra story, I label this as no room for ordinary. And the key elements I have noted down, are Mahindra Holiday Resorts, Coorg, call from the member, stuck in traffic, unable to check in, lunchtime, children on car, restaurant manager, and then flower show, 4 lunch boxes in motorcycle, narrow lanes, hand him over lunch boxes. That's it. All key tags that are needed to capture the story. And the last T stands for tags. For those who are in IT know that tags are the keywords that we use to identify any document. So whenever you create a Word document in future, if you're already not following this practice, there is something called tags in the file properties. So you go and then put all these keywords along with the relevance message of the story. For example, this story's relevance message is there is no room for ordinary inaction. So along with the keywords, you also put in this tagline on the tags, and your file will become searchable. So if you are using your electronic way of filing, be it a Microsoft Word or Evernote, this will become an electronic way of filing things, and you can search for this story very quickly. If you cannot carry a notebook to jot down the stories, there is this app called Evernote which you can install on your mobile. Evernote has this property of tagging and then searching. So whenever you come across a good story, a lot of you have shared the stories with me. Let that be the first story in your file book, in your story file. With that note, let's move on to the next section of this meeting. There's